Hey guys, it's Bia here and we're back with another video. As I said, I was going to make a video about my final A-level exam. I got an A-star, full marks on this whole project, so I must have been doing something right. And if you want to find out how to get your A-star, watch the video. Watch the last videos that I made about my personal project, which was about sustainability and recycling, and I did not want to be boring. I wanted to put a different twist on it, which is maybe why I got a good grade, because I didn't just do, like, you can be really basic with the whole recycling theme because a lot of people do it, but I did it really differently. So if you want to see that, link in the description. I'm gonna get started. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, I am losing my voice because I've been talking for so long today. But anyways, let's get started. This is the project. My exam, I chose to do gold. This is the weirdest thing though. I was wishing for a gold theme before the exam even came, before the day we got the paper with the different questions that we can choose. I was like, I wish they give me gold. I really wanted to do something gold. So for some reason I was really into that. Don't know why. I really wanted it. And guess what? I got gold. This is crazy. I was like, did I know it was gonna happen? Anyways, sometimes if you wish really hard, you get what you want. So as soon as I got this project, on the same day I was making mood boards. I was making everything. So that's the first thing you have to do, because you don't have much time. You have to get working straight away when you get your exam. I got on it, came back the next day, had all these things done already, and the teacher was like, what, did you not sleep last night? I was like, I did sleep, but I'm working fast, baby. Anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna pull these out and I'm gonna show you. So guys, I finally pulled out everything, and I have a lot of little bits that have broken because I am not careful. And these ones got fired. I tried to experiment with some clay. These got fired. These did not break. The ones that did not get fired in the thing, they all keep breaking. But anyways, that's for the end. I'll tell you guys about it later. I'm gonna just put them to the side. I started with this and the mood board. This is the first things I did. And I was thinking into, I was like, gold, cool. There were some things that were given to us in the exam question, and one of them was Gustav Klimt, and he did a lot of paintings in gold. So I was like, cool, we can do that. But at the same time, I was like, what else can I go into? I wanted, as I said before, religion. For some reason, I was like, I can go into that. Thought Christianity, I can look into a lot of things. I can go to churches, I can take pictures, I can look at a lot of art, and I can do some research on that, which is something I did in the end because that's what I wanted to do. I went, and I also was really interested in Egypt because this is like a passion I've had for so long, and I was like, great, gold, Egypt, perfect, let's go. So if there's something that you're really passionate about and there's something that you really want to look into, you can do that. You don't have to look at anything that they give you in the exam questions, like one of those the suggestions. You don't have to. So that's the first thing, like a mind map. It looks really childish, but it's the beginning and it doesn't matter that much, to be honest. So that's the start. And then we have the mood board again. Oh my gosh, I started collecting images of the things that I wanted to look into. Sorry guys, there's stuff stuck on here. So I started looking at the images I wanted to look into, and I was like, okay, Pope, okay, because I was like, his clothes are really cool, to be honest. I like the gold everywhere, the designs, I really love the designs. So I started looking into that. Also looking into jewelry and art. So yeah, that's the beginning. So as I said, I went into the National Portrait Gallery as soon as I could. I think it was like that weekend. I was like, we're going to the gallery now. I went and I was like, wow, these paintings, I really started discovering, these paintings had so much gold. And I started looking for meanings in different colors. Like, what does the gold symbolize? What does the other colors in these paintings symbolize? Why did they use this the way they did? And I was really looking into it. And I started seeing, look, they use gold to symbolize that someone is like holy, or something to do with the divine qualities, or when they're showing these different because this is usually like part of a story, so I'm like, how are they using it to show it? And I remember this one, I don't know if it's in here, but it was like there was an angel, and like I think it was meant to be Jesus or something, and there was like a light coming from the sky, and that strand was all gold, and I was like, cool, I get it, I see what you guys mean. So I can see how they're using it to portray some sort of divine quality within the paintings. So yeah, and I started looking into other things in the paintings, not only colors but also the animals, and what was the meaning behind these animals. And I thought maybe later I can use this for something. So from this quick thing, I was like, well, I'm doing textiles, let's not forget we're doing textiles, we're not doing fine art, so we have to you know, do some 3D like surface experimentation. So I did some batik experiments from the patterns that I saw in these paintings, and I was trying to, you know, bring them out, like the flowers, the cross, everything, you know, different patterns. Well, how can I use them? This was just like the beginning. Whoa, this is getting stuck in here. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is why you don't use oil paint. That's our surface manipulation. And then I looked at the artist that was suggested in the question, which is Gustav Klimt, and I found out all about his paintings and how he was showing love, and he was showing seduction, and he was showing like the female body, and that was something he was really into. So he not only and then he covered it in gold, so it's like she's like, a woman is like a goddess, and we have to like worship a woman's body and stuff like that. So I used that further, and I also kept going with patterns, because I don't forget that I'm doing a textiles A level, so you know, we have to bring them out. Although this is not very high skilled, it shows that I'm trying to bring things out of the images that I'm looking at. So from here, I also don't forget, you get some information about what the artist did, and then you do some analysis of the images that you find. Don't forget to do that analysis of what you find. Okay, then you take it forward. So then I took pictures of her. She was my friend, and I was like, I'm gonna make you look sexy, are you willing to look sexy for me? She was like, cool, I'll look sexy. I covered her in some gold fabric and gold background. I became a photographer for the day, because remember, I was trying to be a jack of all trades, guys. Can you see the whole sheet? There you can. Okay. So I did some photo shoot. I did a photo shoot of her, and I was trying to see how can I capture her beauty, because you know, she's actually genuinely, like, I was like, you're really beautiful, so let me like try and show it as much as I can, but let's like try and make it a bit sensual, but not show things. Like, I don't want you to show, like, be naked in front of the camera. No. Like, you're covered, but the parts of your body that you're showing are suggesting the sensuality in the poses and the way you're doing this. So later I selected the pictures I wanted the most. And then I went back to the original. So I was like, okay, Christianity, and I looked into the Byzantine art. Now Byzantines were like my voice is so bad. So the Byzantine era was like early Christianity, and this is when, because there was a time when they were like, we can't show pictures of, like, you can't show pictures of Jesus, you can't show pictures of you can't like show angels, you can't show any of that, so this was not allowed. And then eventually they were like, you know what, fine, do it, just do the pictures, do the art. And that's when they started making these amazing mosaics, and they started covering churches with gold, and they started covering them in like these beautiful designs. So what happens then is that from all these beautiful designs, I was trying to pull out like patterns, because I don't want to go into a full art history lesson. We can do that later, but basically they started being able to show these stories, like people started being a bit more loose on it, and they were like, cool, we're gonna cover the whole like chapel, church, whatever, we're gonna cover it in art, showing the different stories, the different things. And I started taking these patterns from them. I think school had like a book about these about the Byzantine era, and I was looking through it, there was like different books, like I think it was like Bibles and stuff. They were covered in gold and they were really designed. I was like, cool, I'm gonna take that so I can use it later. So these are the designs I come up with. I did them all in Photoshop, and then this is like just a range, because I was looking, this is like mosaics. I was like, I'm gonna use this later, like make something to do with mosaics. So I got a color, had my range of colors, with thingy, with the pattern, and then had my range of colors covered in gold, so I can see how this is going to look like for later. And then I kept going with these patterns and I started printing. I'm pretty sure this was lino printing. Yeah, this was lino printing. There's actually a video on my channel as to how you can do lino printing if you guys are interested. I was trying to lino print on anything that is gold. This is really cool. This is called Angelina. Can make a video about it in one day for you guys to see. And yeah, I kept experimenting different things. Don't forget to experiment, guys. Experiment. And then I did screen printing, because I don't know what I'm going to do exactly later, but I want to have experiments on how I can use it. So I really love this. Like, I did this on denim and I was like, oh my god, the contrast is beautiful. So I kept using gold. Don't forget, my thing was all about gold, so I was trying to see how can I bring gold into everything. And then I found out Dolce & Gabbana had a collection inspired by the Byzantine era, and I was like, this is perfect. So, as you know, Dolce & Gabbana are a bit, a bit extra, a bit overly beaded. They have like really designed and over the top dresses and stuff. So I was like, cool, I can do some embroidery, and I did some embellishments as well. And I was trying to think about how can I bring some of that shininess, because don't forget, mosaics are really shiny and reflective. So I was trying to see how can I bring this out in my work. Okay, so I'm trying to get inspired by something to do with fashion, which is more related to textiles, because I have to bring it back to my subject. Don't forget, you guys have to bring it back to subject. If you don't do textiles and you do art or fine art, whatever, graphics, you have to bring it back to something to do with your specific trade. So after this, I got the prints which I had used. Also, don't forget, I am developing the prints that I made from the beginning. Don't forget this thing here and these were designs from the very beginning, where I had my Byzantine research, and I'm using them to develop my ideas. So started working in 3D and trying to see how I can embellish it. No, I was actually a bit stuck here. I was like, what can I do with it? I didn't know exactly how to take this forward, but I kept going. Again, remember the images I had of my friend? I tried to manipulate them, and I was like, okay, we have mosaics, Byzantine mosaics. The images I'm going to bring Klimt into this to develop the idea. So I had her, and I was trying to make her into a mosaic, because I was like I was thinking about like Greek like goddess kind of thing as well. I was like, she looks like she's some sort of Greek goddess with her like the fabric, the way it's laid on her. So we kept going. Then I decided to use this thing called image transfer, which I don't have anymore. This is something I could do at school with a specific medium that my teacher had from ages. Like, no one had used it before for ages, and I was like, well, I'm gonna use it myself. So I transferred the same image of my friend in the different way, in the altered mosaic way, and I tried to transfer into different mediums. Like this one, I love this one because this was the gold one, and I tried to really put it on gold. That's the main idea, because that's the whole purpose of the the project. But I was like, cool, I can try it on other things. I can try it on the denim. I can try it on the simple cotton. I can try it on some plastic. But this one brings some of the shine through, and that's something that I really love. So something that I really love is something you should take forward. And I made it bigger as well because I wanted to really show that this was the one I had chosen. Okay. From there, I had some drawings that I went to do at the National Portrait Gallery. I basically went to like this club class thing, and we did a live drawing, and I thought this is like great. This like relates to the project, and it's a good thing to add in to show to the examiner that I can draw from life, you know. Also, the things that she's wearing here kind of reminds me of the things that my friend was wearing, so I put it in. So I have some drawings here for you guys to see. Okay, and I have these. Look, we have more. Okay, it's not that many, to be honest, but they're not the best. This is the only time in my life where I did live drawing, so yeah. Then I decided from the live drawing I can try and draw some of the statues. I was back to the whole Greek goddess type thing. I went into the British Museum, into the Greek section, and I was looking at what they had there, like if I could take some of this for later, if I could use it. I decided to draw the statues. They're not the best of drawings, to be honest, guys. They're not the best, but they show I was trying different things, guys. That's the most important part. From there, we took the image that I had of my friend again from the photo shoot, and I took a section of it, and I enlarged it, and I was like, how can I take this and make something else out of it? So I tried to make it out of what is this called? You know when you break your arm and then you mold rock, that's what it is. You break your arm and then you have to stay like that for ages, for like a month, and then they take it out. That's what this is made of. Basically, this is just fabric with PVA glue. This is some wire mesh I had, and then I had one made of thingy, what's it called? Clay. No, I can't have it here. I think I left it in school. I did not want it because I don't have space for that. But yeah, I experimented with different things. This is still 3D, so it still counts as textiles, I guess. Yeah. And from there, I decided to make a statue kind of thing. Now, I was looking at how other people had made statues, at how over time how statues were being made. Oh my gosh, this is so messed up. So how they had been made, what they're trying to show. And then I was like, I'm gonna make my own statue. But I thought, why should I show a face? Like, why should I just be like trying to create the body and then have the clothes on top of the body? I thought, let's remove that completely. Because then I was thinking, like, you can't, like, I was trying to use this as a metaphor at the same time, and I was thinking, well, you can't really, like, if oh my gosh, I can't speak. Okay guys, I had some water now. Feeling better. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to make some sort of metaphor, and I was thinking, well, we can't see God. Even if he's there, we cannot see him. So if I'm gonna try and do a metaphor to do with God, because this whole thing was about religion in the first place, the reason why I started it, I was thinking, well, I'm not gonna show a face. We don't know what God looks like, but I can show a metaphor of God's existence. So the idea was that the statue was showing that there is something there, okay? Supposedly something does exist, okay? Because the statue looks like someone is wearing the clothes, but we can't see the person wearing the clothes. So that's the metaphor that's like my metaphor of how I understood God at the time. I was thinking, well, we can't see God, but God is there. And if he's there, he does show, like, he must be showing his existence somehow. Even if he doesn't show himself, he shows his existence through the way he reveals things to people. So the way he's like, I don't know how to explain, guys. It's like if he isn't there, we can't see him, or if he is there, or if he's filling in this area. There is space being filled with, but that's why it looks like something is being worn, but there is nothing inside because we can't see it. So I was trying to be all like questions and like meaning and stuff, whatever. I don't know if that made any sense to you, but that's what I meant by it. Basically, is there like bringing meaning to everything I make. Oh my god, what is this? Oh yeah. So what I did after was still looking into this whole religion thing, gods, whatever. So I went into looking into Egypt, and I went back to the British Museum, and I looked at the Egyptian section, and I started thinking, what can I take from this? Because this is something I've been always passionate about, but at this time I was running out of time, so I couldn't do much. And I was bringing, it was like I can look into the patterns. I thought I can make jewelry. Like I ran out of time to do it. I was going to make jewelry out of the things that I took from this, and I was going to use it in my final photo shoot, but I wasn't able to do it. So I ended up with just freckles, like these like things that look like I pulled them out of the dust. But I was really trying to experiment with surfaces with designs, and I didn't have time to finish. This is something that you have to learn when you do this. Like your final exam, try and make it look like you finished, even if you didn't finish, when you put your boards together, or however you decide to show it. The last thing I did was I was looking into gold associated with wealth and power. So I went to Harrods on a trip, you know, trying to be all fancy, and I was like, see how gold is being shown there. Cars parked outside covered in like gold, covered in gold, food covered in gold, chocolate covered in gold, dresses made of gold, like everything gold, 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 gold. And I was like, there's this obsession that we currently have with gold, and like we have an obsession to have more and more and more and more. And as humans, this never stops. This desire to have more. The more you attain, the more you want. And it never stops. Okay. So it was all about this greediness and how we never stop wanting to have more things. Even if it's like someone who's really rich, for example. If they're not humble, they're gonna keep wanting more and more things. And even us, those people who are like, when you are young and you suddenly get some money, you're like, I want to buy everything. So I think it's like a human thing that we always want more stuff. So I wanted to look into this, and I looked at King Midas's story. I don't know if you guys know about it. So what happens is he is granted this power. He can turn everything to gold. He asked for it, but this is kind of one of those things of be careful what you wish for. So he wished to have be able to have gold everywhere, but then he ends up not being able to eat because he touches the food and the food turns to gold, and then he touches his daughter, the daughter turns to gold, so he loses his daughter, and this daughter becomes a statue. So this kind of shows that his desire to have everything and to have everything covered in gold was a bad choice, and like his greediness was his demise, basically. And I wanted to show this here. I was trying to like experiment with images and how can I like bring gold into this, like gold powers, gold dripping from your hands, you know, gold everywhere. And then this brings me to the final piece. Oh yeah, I did this as well. Oh. This feels like a Lion King kind of moment. Anyways, I don't even know why this is here. The final part of my work was my little sketchbook, and let me just see how long this is. The video's 23 minutes. It's kind of long. Let's just finish it quickly. Also my voice, I'm so sorry, my throat is so dry. So that's the final part. Basically what I decided to do for my final piece was I made dress. Well, the dress was not the final piece, but I made this dress for my friend to wear, the one from the photo shoot in the beginning. So let's see it started here. Is it good? Is that good? Is that too far away? We're good. Okay, so I went to an exhibition of Christian Dior that was at the V&A, and I was really inspired by the dresses I saw there, and I wanted to recreate something like that. And obviously I'm not as amazing as Christian Dior, but you know, oh, you wish. Anyways, so I took pictures of the different dresses, you know, embroideries, techniques that were used, and how different dresses had different meanings. Some of them related to my work from before, so the Egyptian theme, the golden theme, excessive theme, royalty. So these things in fashion are all connected to my project. And then I made like another mood board for the dress I was going to make for the final piece, and I was really trying to be as excessive as possible. I was like, I'm gonna make this like princess type dress. Started sketching. I had all these different sketches related to the things that came before, so the Byzantine, the Egyptian thing, the goddess thing, the everything had different like things I thought I could make, different tops, different bottoms, different combinations. Different designs that I can use. I had like, basically this is my embroidery propositions. I was really trying to think of what I could make, and I think this is the beginning of the end. Like, this is the beginning of me figuring out what I wanted. I really like this asymmetrical look, and I really like this, like having a transparent body with just embroidery covering it, which brings us back to the whole seduction from Klimt. So more dresses I was designing, and more. This is like me trying to fit in, you know how you have the whole Christian Dior aesthetic and you have these poses with like very tight up hair, and you had the very poofy skirt. That was something I was trying to take from Christian Dior, like from the early days of Christian Dior. And then we had like longer princess type dresses with the open back and embroideries all over it. Then I proceeded to continue, like this was like the point where I was starting really to figure out what I wanted for my final piece. And then I had an idea of having 3 layers of the dress. So what I tried to do for my final piece, I was trying to recreate the Midas story, but instead of it being a man, it's like a princess or a queen, and I tried to show it. So this is my final sketch. I know this book is really messed up, and it messed up my illustration. That's the illustration of the final piece. I had tried to make it look like it's my friend. However, it kind of looks like Taylor Swift, to be honest. And I drew this. I had many layers to this dress, and I was trying to use everything I learned. So I had measurements and calculations for the skirts. This is the design of the embroidery I used, and that's the different pieces that I used on the arms, because I also put embroideries on the arms. And then this is the process in which I made the dress. So embroidery, different parts, all the different sections of the dress. I was trying to bring things back from the things I'd seen before. I had learned how to make a tutu the year before in my AS, so this really helped me to make the big dress the big ball gown I made this year. And I started I was like, I'm making a wedding dress here. It was great. It was massive. I love it. I'm still gonna take more pictures of it wearing myself, because I'm like the same size, so I can still like do some photo shoot, you know, use what you have. And I started doing some prints. This is for my this is from my screen print, which I did on the skirt, and then I had embroideries everywhere. And I was taking pictures of her for the final picture, like final piece, which I did in the exam. So after taking all these beautiful pictures of her, we moved on. I used them and I made a big panel. I don't have it here right now, I think it's somewhere in the storage, but I don't know exactly where. So I made like panels trying to show the story, and I used her. So in the beginning it's like she's praying, she's like wishing she had more wealth. The second stage is basically she realizes she got this power now, she's granted this power, and she suddenly touches everything to gold, and she touches the food to gold, then she touches her daughter to gold, and then she's sad on the stairs in her grand castle by herself, full of the things that she wanted, but then she realized that's not actually what she wanted. So this is the whole, basically I'm like trying to be all like, be careful what you wished for. So yeah, and then I had my translation, because I found out how to write hieroglyphs. I basically translated the whole script, this whole script, into ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, and I wrote out all the hieroglyphs on the page. So yeah, that's great, amazing. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. I worked really hard, and if you want to get your A-star full marks, you have to work really hard as well. Go above and beyond on everything, which is something I really like stress. Don't forget to experiment with everything that you make. Don't forget that you can make mistakes, and if things don't go the way you wanted them in the beginning, it's okay. And if things don't come out the best, it's still okay as well, as long as you have a lot of work to show that you're really trying. So yeah, and use everything. Transfer the techniques that you learned from the beginning to the end. Use everything that worked for you, really bring it out. Okay, so yeah, and have meaning on everything you make. Everything you make must make someone question something that they do in their life. Like this one, I was trying to make people question, why am I so greedy? Why do I want so much wealth all the time? Why do I need this? Like, why do I crave it so badly? Is it really what I want? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Sorry about my voice, because it's really like, my throat is so dry. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have fun, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Subscribe, look at my Instagram, TikTok, everything you want. And yeah, have a beautiful day. Bye guys.